Hey everyone, welcome along. I've got a special guest with me, as you can see on screen. This is the Counties Manukau Cricket Association. I'll get the official wording. It's CMCA Officials Coordinator, Phil Norvill. Phil, thanks for your time, mates. Obviously, like all the players, you guys have sort of been sitting there waiting for a start date to arrive. We feel like we're getting close. Obviously, nothing locked in stone just yet, but not too far away. How are umpire numbers and official numbers looking as we sort of head into the new season, mate? Are we on track?
Yeah, g'day there, Dale. Hey, thanks for the intro. Yes, she's been a fairly interesting odd start to a season. Usually what we try and do in an off-season is just get a little bit of sort of team bonding going, try and do a little bit of recruitment, that type of stuff. But there's a bit of downtime. You know, a lot of our guys are off doing things like football refereeing and stuff like that too. So to start this season, we thought, right, let's go, let's get into it. And then, of course, lockdown came along and, threw a spanner in the works somewhat. But in the background, Pete Z had done a lot of good work just on the recruitment front, just putting some feelers out there to try and get more umpires along board. And, we've sort of grabbed that with both hands. It's been quite successful. We've had probably a dozen new potential recruits come to us in the off-season. And we had actually just started some in-person meetings with the CMCA guys just before lockdown. It was looking really good. I had the great fortune of having some guys with some awesome experience that can help me with that process. So we've got the fantastic Magoo, Glenn Shack, back from Australia. He's a man with a lot of experience within counties and obviously Aussie as well, and the current statistician. So he's been fantastic and bringing his experience to the table. And as well, of course, John Dempsey on the New Zealand panel. So between the three of us, we've done some really good work initially face-to-face, but I think we managed to get 2 sessions in before lockdown kicked in. And that made things a bit more challenging. But I suppose we all tend to find in our personal and professional lives, you just got to roll with it. So we took to Teams and Zoom and did the online thing. So that's been quite good. Just getting through the fundamentals of what's required to be an umpire and getting our guys there ready to get out on the field with great anticipation.
So I mean, obviously, yes. In recent times, it's have to do the online thing. It was a week or so back that we were able to get outside into groups of no more than 25. So with that in mind, what have you been able to do more recently in terms of getting outside and some social distancing and because umpiring, I presume, can be done sort of social distance in a way, right?
Well, I suppose normally on a normal field, yes, the umpires are about 20 metres away from each other. So it's quite good. It's just these players you're running around you have to sort of keep an eye on. But yes, we were looking in early on when we were able to get into a group of 10. But obviously the feedback that came through from NZ Sport and NZC was from an umpiring or cricket perspective that wasn't possible because it was only allowed to be 2 bubbles. Now that we've got 25, it's been good, albeit the weather sort of had played a little bit of havoc with us. We couldn't have got much cricket in anyway, but we did get out last Sunday. Down at Bruce Pullman, it was good. We had a good turnout of a dozen umpires, and that included our incumbent group as well, who were obviously all itching to get out there on the field. You can sit down and watch so much online, but nothing beats actually getting on the field. So we had a really good session, actually, just things around basic field craft, which, that's very difficult to do online. You've got to do that in person, on field, and really get that back and forth communication going, because that's what it's about. When we refer to ourselves as the third team on the pitch, and just like players need to practice, either in the nets or on the field, umpires need to do exactly the same thing. And so even going forward now, our guys are looking to probably get along to a few of the club net sessions just to get their eye in. Hey, we've got to see a ball just as well as a batsman. So the more that we can get on that in the next few weeks will be really good.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Obviously, there's been a lot made of the growth that we've seen in Counties Manukau cricket in senior grades, at least anyway. The Premier grade moving to 6 teams, the expansion there, 2 more teams, so an extra game, a weekend. Presents some challenges. All sports are finding it hard to get umpires, referees, officials into amateur sport. Great that our numbers have grown here in the Counties Manukau region. But how are we placed when you look at the additional growth and, as I say, that extra Premier game each weekend?
Yeah, I'm really heartened, actually. It's really good to see. It's great to get back to 6 teams. I started my umpire sort of journey 10, 12 odd years ago. So I've sort of been used to having the 6 teams there, which has been great. But, like you say, the challenges are always around us. And the beauty about having these new recruits really gives us that depth to be able to not only look at getting full complement of umpires for the Prem games, but actually get that trickle down through to the senior A level and hopefully even senior Bs as well, depending on what falls on any given weekend. So we've got a potential, if we're fully staffed, if you like, on any given weekend, we could have up to 6 or 7 games covered. And with 2 umpires. So that's our ideal, but there may well be potential possibilities where we may have a single umpire on some of these lower grade games. But our focus at the moment is obviously through the senior comp and getting the Prem sorted out, and then getting our newer recruits teamed up with an experienced umpire so that they can get out there and learn from the best really give the games what they deserve.
Mate, you touched on JD before. John Dempsey we're talking about here. He is the region's sort of leading umpire at the moment. He's on the national panel. I played with JD many years ago. He has every sort of quality that you'd look for in an umpire. I think he was on the short list, one of the finalists for Counties Manukau Sporting Excellence Awards in terms of the best official. Just give us a little bit of a sort of rundown on where he's at, what you expect for JD this summer and opportunities he might get.
Yeah, thanks, Dale. JD's done a fantastic job. He's really sort of flying the flag for CMCA. And obviously, Counties has done a fantastic job historically on the New Zealand front. We've had some really great leaders through that over history. Through the likes of Joe Stoop, who I've sort of started my training with. JD, Ashmore, Mahotra more recently, and of course Tony Hill on the ICC elite panel there for a number of years. And we still get the services of these guys. Tony's always involved. When he's around, he's still fairly heavily involved in cricket these days as well. So it's great to have these guys that we can call upon to help us out at our grassroots level. We all understand that a game of cricket, no matter what level you're at, is fundamentally the same. You've still got, say, 100 balls in a game, for a 100 overs rather, in a one-day game. That's still fundamentally the same. It doesn't matter if you're doing club level right through to the elite level. You've still got to get those processes right. So these guys being able to feed that back to our teams is really, really invaluable. And the quality of the guys coming through out of counties is fantastic. So JD's going to be carrying on that front. Obviously, now that we've got a bit of a date, that 15th of December, he's going to be able to escape the clutches of Auckland and be able to do a bit more umpiring around the country. He's chomping at the bit to be able to get out there and amongst it. And he's got a number of appointments all lined up, right through from all the New Zealand stuff, right through to potentially some of the internationals as well. He's done a few international, either third or out in the middle umpiring duties, particularly with the women's games that have been in the past. He's featured quite strongly in that. I think 2 seasons ago, he was actually on an international exchange over to South Africa as well. So he's getting plenty of exposure, and he's really pushing for some of those top positions within NZ and obviously leading to those opportunities which have come out of COVID with restrictions and travel for international umpires actually coming to New Zealand. So that's been fantastic for all of our New Zealand panel umpires, actually, and JD's really taken that opportunity by the horns.
Well, so mate, like he to me is the perfect example of someone that enjoyed himself playing the game of cricket, sort of ticked all the boxes of what he wanted to accomplish as a player, and then looked for what that next step was, and he's made a real success of transitioning from his post-playing days into still being involved in the sport and succeeding and thriving and enjoying himself. There'll be a lot of people out there that have played the game that are looking for, maybe to stay involved, keep their hat in somehow. What's the best way to get into umpiring, mate?
Oh yeah, absolutely, Dale. That is the beauty. Everyone who loves the game are in it for life. And the beauty about umpiring, and one of the things that helped get me involved was a guy said to me, "Hey, look, it's the best seat in the house," and it absolutely is. You get to see it all, you get to hear it all as well, and the ebbs and flows of the game of cricket is actually hard to explain. No two games are the same, and you'll find that in all your years out there as well. Doesn't matter what level, doesn't matter if it's club cricket through to the top level stuff. There's always something different there, and that's a fantastic challenge. And obviously, the beauty about being an umpire is you don't actually have a vested interest in the outcome. You get to enjoy the win. Either way, yeah. Every day is a winning day as far as an umpire is concerned. So, look, we've doing really well with getting, if you like, what I call ex-players who may have got towards the end of their playing career, getting a bit broken perhaps, can't get that running and that mobility in the field. But they certainly still enjoy the game. So it's fantastic to get them along into the umpiring side of things. Once they sort of see what's involved, they realise that actually there's a bit more to it than what they thought. And certainly the respect levels sort of rise. So the best way to do is get a hold of myself via the County's Manukau website and give us a shout. We can help get them on the path. There's a definite pathway. When it comes to umpiring, you can be hey, look, if you just enjoy getting out on a Saturday and supporting your club mates, we can do that for you. The player umpire thing is absolutely invaluable. And we're looking to actually carry on just doing player umpire sessions during the season. So that when you're out there with your team, you know exactly what the calls are that you're making, and you're going to get those consistently right every time. But you can take that right through to club level, like we've been talking with the new recruits we've got going on there, and you can challenge yourself, keep going through from the senior Bs, As through to the Prem level, and then it's pretty easy transition from that into some of the rep stuff within Northern Districts. There's a really good program pathway there with how we go through those training modules. Big part of my role is actually on that training and examination process, right through to the New Zealand level stuff. And then the big part of it is actually being on the field, getting that experience. So the more, experience you can bring to umpiring from your playing days, it's awesome because you have some of that inbuilt knowledge of what's involved in the game of cricket. And you can sort of preempt a few things. But then getting the technical in behind it. There's some online resources we utilise, but there's the examinations as well. And then you get assessed as you go through that process. And hey, look, the sky's the limit, as we've seen by the likes of Ashmore and JD in recent times. And hey, look, you can just be as big as you want to be, and take it from there.
Yeah, certainly a way to stay involved in the sport. And mate, you're doing a great job, Phil. Appreciate your time today. Best of luck with the summer ahead. We'll look forward to sort of seeing your progress, and I'm sure we'll chat again, mate. But go well.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for that, Dale. Appreciate it. Hey, it'd be great to see everybody out there in the middle.